Upon my birth, the doctor noted to my mother, this boy has tickling fingers. And unlike my forefathers, I've decided to use them for good with some cool fingerstyle guitar stuff that we're doing on the Strat. This is the Ed O'Brien Strat. A lot of people have been asking questions about this. I'll link to it below. Radiohead guitar, very awesome. But what we're going to do is going to be super simple, and I think it's a fun way to kind of incorporate fingerstyle stuff, and it's going to sound like this. So, it's a little bit of Travis picking, a little bit of muted fingerstyle playing that I think everybody should know. And this is one of the courses covered in the fingerstyle intro class that I did, which I'm making super cheap, $15. Think of the value you can get for $15. How about having an actual classical guitar instructor like my buddy Kyle walk me through the proper way from beginner to intermediate fingerstyle guitar. That is linked below, 5 days only. But basically, we're going to start off with an A minor 7 chord, okay? The fingerstylist's favorite chord, right? So, pointer finger first fret on the B string, middle finger second fret on the D string. That's all you need, but we need to get an infrastructure of counting and a repeatable pattern that you can do with your plucking hand, all right? So for most of the example, we're just gonna use this same chord and then start getting kind of different tones out of it using different techniques. You can get a lot of it palm muting, okay? So, first thing we have to do, we have to assign your thumb different strings before we start muting anything, right? So your thumb is going to be responsible for the A, D, and low E string, okay? And your thumb really has the entire pulse going on here, okay? So first, before you do anything, I want you to just take your thumb and go back and forth between the A and the D string. Back and forth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And kind of get that steady, no matter what speed, no matter what tempo it's at, have that going on autopilot, all right? Now this is probably a great place to start introducing how to mute this, all right? So you just take the side of your hand, judo chop into the bridge right there, okay? Now you'll notice when I go back and forth now, it's not sustained as it would be like this, right? Sustained, muted. Now I think muting is such an important part because if you have ambitions to play like a singer-songwriting thing, it's just a perfect volume control, and it totally helps with your tone and kind of gives you a different speed. Everybody should have this under their belt, all right? So find a way that you can chop the side, judo chop, like I said, of the bridge, and then still have your thumb going back and forth like this. You might have to kind of maneuver your hand. Everybody's hand and how they approach the guitar is a little bit different. Again, this is what we're going for. Chop the side of the bridge, back and forth. A, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice you'll get a different tone depending on where you're actually kind of like hitting it. So really just kind of like move around, find a place that's comfortable, and then get to it, right? Now the next thing we gotta do is we gotta introduce your pointer finger on the G string and then your middle finger on the B string, okay? So a good exercise to do is just go A, D, G, B. Again, muted, A, D, G, B, like that, right? Now if we do that on an A minor 7 chord, we have that, all right? Now we want to create a pattern. The first one we're going to do is going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We don't even need your middle finger yet. It's going to be thumb, 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 pointer, thumb, all right? Now again, the counting is super important. A lot of people try to skip this. Don't skip it. You need to learn how to count, all right? Just count. It's not hard. Babies can count. You can count. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the downbeats, all the numbers, your thumb is responsible for, right? Alternating back and forth. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All we're doing is on the and of 3, we're getting your pointer finger to kind of pluck up on the G string. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Once you have that down, the next bar is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay? So now the and of 4, my middle finger is plucking up on the B string. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So technically we have two different patterns. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Alternate between them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. No matter what you do when you practice this, try not to stop with your thumb, all right? It might be harder at first to kind of get both of those back and forth, easier said than done, right? But as long as you keep the structure, the framework, the counting framework of your thumb going back and forth, thinking of the count 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Worst thing you can do is practice like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I got it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And okay, I did it. I'm done with that. No, that's stupid. You did it one time. That doesn't mean you can do it because you did it one time. I see a lot of students do that. It upsets me. Don't make me angry. I'm close enough to the edge already as it stands. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now let's do a little bit more, right? So far, the only time we're adding your pointer finger or your middle finger is on the back end of the bar after the 3 or after the 4. Let's just try to do the whole thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 for some reason I want to shake the guitar neck when I do it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm using the neck of the guitar to help me count. That is not advised, but it looks interesting and it creates, you know, an element of physicality to the performance. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so basically what you're doing is you're developing the muscle memory of these different patterns that you can kind of interchange back and forth, right? So we're going to do one more, and it's going to be combining your pointer finger or your middle finger with one of the downbeats. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So now on the two count, I'm pinching the B string and the D string together. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, both D and B. 3 and 4. On the end of 3, I'm still getting the G string just like that first count. 1, 2, 3, and 4. But now on the 2, I'm just adding the middle finger, B string. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's do another one. Both 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can do a lot of stuff, and you can eventually speed it up, but don't worry about the speed. Get it slower, you don't have to think about it, then you can go back and forth, okay? Now, once you kind of have an open chord under your belt, let's try to do something a little bit maybe further up the neck using bar chords, all right? Let's use my favorite guy right here, C major 7. We're gonna start the same way, all right? So now my pointer finger's on the 3rd fret of the A string, ring finger 5D, middle finger 4G, pinky 5B. Now you'll notice sometimes when you use bar chords, you have complete control over the strings, both in the muted section, and then with your fretting hand too, you can kind of, if you can kind of see it like my hand, I'm kind of subtly pressing and leaving the string to kind of get that really staccato sound that is kind of a familiar thing of Travis picking, which is kind of like what this is teaching, right? So then when you add the muted nature to it, you get this cool kind of percussive way of playing. Now the great thing about rooting a chord on the A string is you can jump back and forth between its root note and its 5th, right? So in the key of C, C, D, E, F, G, C and G is going to sound great to alternate between. Beautiful thing about guitar and standard tuning is you can just jump back and forth from the A string to the E string, right? C, G, C, G, C, G. Just like we did in the first thing, right? That power chord type deal that we had in the A. Here, I'm going to the G higher, C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you'll notice I'm alternating the 5th above and the 5th below. 5th above, 5th below. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back and forth, right? Now you can do this in a lot of different ways. If you root on the E string, you can do it from an octave type thing where you hit the E low E string. Again, this is just a G bar chord here. You can do the same thing we're doing, but now we're just kind of skipping the A string to get an octave thing. A string, E string, A string, E string, root on the E string, E string, B string. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And again, it's all about that count, keeping that count nice and steady. And then as you go further up the neck, you can always remember, rooting on the A string, I can jump back and forth between its fifth and its fifth below. This is a D7 chord to C. And you just notice the more muted I get it up here, it still sounds fine because I'm not going for like a sustained chord. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. The framework and the structure of the counting will help you to do that no matter what you're doing, what kind of style. That framework of being able to jump back and forth between the strings is really what we're totally going on about, right? So again, we take this through more of a beginner approach in the class, but I just kind of wanted to throw together like a cool quick lesson on it because it's something that I have like a lot of fun with. And ever since I really started doing Travis picking, again, two of my favorite guitar players, Taj Mahal, great blues player, Keb Mo, another great blues player, Shaky Graves, who's like the modern day Travis picking master, I think, are guys that I really enjoy their playing and I've tried to kind of incorporating into what I do. And now almost any time I just pick up like either an acoustic guitar or just even an electric guitar solo, I kind of gravitate towards that type of thing because it just has like a really cool pulse. So again, it's a fun thing to practice. Right now we're all looking for cool things to practice, so definitely check it out. Check that class out. Like I said, only $15 for the next 5 days. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.